The Senate will come to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Senators Bridges, 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 Buckner, Coleman, Cook, Cook,
Excused.
Coram, Danielson,
Good morning.
Donovan, Fields, Gardner, Gardner,
Appears to be absent. Or never mind.
Gardner, Janal, Gonzalez, Hanson, Henriksen, Heisey, Holbert, Hackes Lewis, Kirkmeyer, Kolker, Lee, Liston, Lundeen, Moreno, Pedersen, Priola, Rankin, Rodriguez, he was here. Rodriguez,
Excused.
Scott,
Here.
Simpson, Smallwood, Sonnenberg, Story, Winter, Woodward, Zenzinger, Cook or Rodriguez. Mr. President,
Here. The morning roll call is 33 present, 0 absent, 2 excused. We do have a quorum. Will the good senator from Arapahoe County please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Colleagues, please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Will the clerk please add Senator Rodriguez to the roll? And will the clerk also add Senator Cook to the roll?
I can do a journal, please.
Approval of the journal, Majority Leader Moreno.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the journal of Wednesday, April 27th be approved as corrected by the Secretary.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and that motion is adopted. Senate Services.
April 28, 2022, correctly printed Senate Bill 233 and 234, correctly engrossed Senate Bill 155, 198, and 204 and 218, correctly re-engrossed Senate Bill 5, 124, 145, 173, 191, 195, 201, 202, 208, 209, and 217, correctly revised House Bill 1003, 1212, 1234, and 1243, correctly re-revised House Bill 1155, 1272, 1296, 1312, and 1324.
Committee reports.
April 27, 2022, the Committee on Business, Labor, and Technology, after consideration on the merits, the committee recommends the following. Senate Bill 230 be referred favorably to the Committee on Appropriations.
Third reading of bills. Consent calendar. Will the clerk please read the titles to all of the bills on the consent calendar?
House Bill 1306, Representatives Tone and Baisley, Senators Bridges and Pirola, concerning broadband deployment grant process implemented by the Broadband Deployment Board.
Majority Leader Moreno.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the passage of the one bill on the third reading consent calendar, which consists of House Bill 1306.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, the motion is the passage of the bill on the third reading of bills consent calendar. Are there any no votes on any of the bills on the third reading of bills consent calendar? Minority Leader Holbert.
Thank you, Mr. President. I ask to be recorded as a no vote on House Bill 1003.
Mr. Minority Leader, we are not there yet.
Oh, excuse me, Mr. President.
With a vote of 34 ayes, 1 no. Wait. With a vote of 35 ayes, 0 no, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1306 is passed. Co-sponsors. Senators Rankin, Sonnenberg, Woodward, Quorum, Heisey, third reading of bills, final passage. Will the clerk please read the title to House Bill 1003?
House Bill 1003, Representatives Doherty and Gonzalez Gutierrez, Senators Coleman and Henriksen, concerning creating a grant program to fund projects that reduce crime among youth and in connection therewith, making an appropriation.
Senator Henriksen.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move House Bill 1003 on third reading and final passage.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, the motion is the passage of House Bill 1003. Are there any no votes? Senators Liston, Minority Leader Holbert, Sonnenberg, Smallwood, Lundin, Scott, Woodward, Kirkmeyer. With a vote of 27 ayes, 8 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1003 is passed. Co-sponsors. Senators Jaquez Lewis, Lee, Gonzalez, Pedersen, Fields, Danielson, Story, Kolker, Hanson, Bridges, Buckner. Majority Leader Moreno. Rodriguez. Please add the President. And Senator Donovan. And Senator Zenzinger. And Senator Janal. And Senator Winter. Oh, and Senator Priola.
Sorry, Dom and I were talking.
Will the clerk please read the title to House Bill 1212?
House Bill 1212, Representatives Ortiz and Williams, Senator Danielson, concerning the continuation of the regulation of conveyances and in connection therewith, implementing the recommendations contained in the 2021 Sunset Report by the Department of Regulatory Agencies.
Senator Danielson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move House Bill 1212 on third reading and final passage.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, the motion is the passage of House Bill 1212. Are there any no votes? Senators Sonnenberg, Liston, Lundin, Gardner, Minority Leader Holbert, Woodward, Scott. With a vote of 28 ayes, 7 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1212 is passed. Co-sponsors.
Just raise your hand for everything, just to be clear. You could be a no and a sponsor at the same time.
Will the clerk please read the title to House Bill 1234?
House Bill 1234, Representatives Bacon and Michelson Janae, Senator Rodriguez, concerning establishing a preventing identity-based violence grant program and in connection therewith making an appropriation.
Senator Rodriguez.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the passage of House Bill 1234 with a favorable recommendation.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, the motion is the passage of House Bill 1234. Are there any no votes? Senators Sonnenberg, Heisey, Simpson, Lundin, Gardner, Liston, Kirkmeyer, Rankin, Smallwood, Woodward, Cook, Minority Leader Holbert, Scott. With a vote of 22 ayes, 13 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, House Bill 1234 is passed. Co-sponsors. Senators Lee, Donovan, Majority Leader Moreno, Jaquez Lewis, not Gonzalez, Buckner, Gonzalez, Buckner, Winter, who is also not Gonzalez. There's a lot of not Gonzalez's here. Danielson, Story, Pedersen, Will the clerk please read the title to House Bill 1243?
House Bill 1243, Representatives Exum and Van Winkle, Senators Kolker and Hendrickson, concerning programs that provide funding to improve school safety and in connection therewith making an appropriation.
Majority Leader Moreno.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move to lay over House Bill 1243 to tomorrow, April 29th.
The motion is to lay over House Bill 1243 until tomorrow. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and House Bill 1243 will be laid over until tomorrow. Will the clerk please read the title to Senate Bill 218?
Senate Bill 218, Senators Holbert and Fenberg, Representatives McKean and Garnett, concerning the sponsorship of sunset bills.
Minority Leader Holbert.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move Senate Bill 218 on third reading and final passage.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, the motion is the passage of Senate Bill 218. Are there any no votes? Careful. Senators Gonzalez, Priola, any other brave souls? With a vote of 33 ayes, 2 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, Senate Bill 218 is passed. Co-sponsors, Senators Donovan, Gonzalez, Lundin, Gardner, Jaquez Lewis, Bridges, Janal, Cook, Lundin, Gardner, Liston, Kirkmeyer, Woodward, Smallwood, Pedersen, Kolker, will the clerk please read the title to Senate Bill 155?
Senate Bill 155, Senators Quorum, Representative Hooton, concerning an expansion of medical marijuana research grant programs.
Senator Quorum.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move Senate Bill 155 on third reading, final passage.
Is there any discussion? Senator Quorum.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just for a clarification, the bill title says expansion of the program, but the amendment eliminated the expansion. It is just extending the date for 1 year of what we're already doing. Thank you. As for night.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the motion is the passage of Senate Bill 155. Are there any no votes? With a vote of 35 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, Senate Bill 155 is passed. Co-sponsors. Senators Rankin, Priola. Will the clerk please read the title to Senate Bill 198?
Senate Bill 198, Senators Fenberg and Scott, Representative Wiseman and Will, concerning measures to address orphan wells in Colorado and in connection therewith creating the Orphan Wells Mitigation Enterprise.
Senator Scott.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move Senate Bill 198 on third reading and final passage.
Is there any discussion? I do see one. Senator Priola.
Thank you, Mr. President. And members, I rise in support of Senate Bill 98. And I just want to compliment the good senator from Mesa County for working on a problem that will affect, or has affected and will continue to affect, my constituents. And also seeing the wisdom in using a mechanism called Enterprise, which existed before Tabor and Tabor continued to allow. And my recollection of that time in our state's history and the debates on adopting Tabor is enterprises were an important part of it finally being adopted, them still being allowed, in that it allows to have revenue firewalled off, if you will, and specifically point to and specifically fix a problem that it is designed to do. Early in the passage of Tabor, many in this legislature decided to enterprise the tuition that our higher education institutions were using at the time, and I think that was a good move by them some 30 years ago, in that it is allowed tuition to focus on education of our children, our youth in the state of Colorado. So once again, I applaud the good senator from Mesa County for agreeing to sign on to this bill, as well as the work of the president in this piece of legislation. There were no amendments through the process, so there was a thorough stakeholder process. There's a board. It even references the E470 ruling like most good enterprises do. So once again, I will not only be a yes on this bill, but I will also co-sponsor it. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Priola. That was incredibly helpful for the debate. The motion is the passage of Senate Bill 198. Are there any no votes? Senators Lundin, Gardner, Cook, Minority Leader Holbert, Sonnenberg, Heisey, Simpson, Kirkmeyer, Quorum, Woodward, Rankin, Smallwood, Liston, Donovan. With a vote of 21 ayes, 14 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, Senate Bill 198 is passed. Co-sponsors, Senators Bridges, Priola, Hansen, Lee, Story, Jaquez Lewis, Winter, Pedersen, Janal, Zenzinger, Buckner. Will the clerk please read the title to Senate Bill 204?
Senate Bill 204, Senator Gonzalez, Representative Lindsay, and Gonzalez Gutierrez, concerning repealing the requirement that a federal government confirm certain persons' statuses before issuance of an identification document in connection therewith, making an appropriation.
Senator Gonzalez.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move Senate Bill 204 on third reading and final passage.
Is there any discussion? Senator Gonzalez.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, I just want to clarify what this bill does. If you are undocumented and you try to receive a immigrant driver's license through the program that was established in back in 2013, there is a process for you. That is not this bill. This bill pertains to people who are temporarily present, meaning folks who are on student visas, folks who are on special visas, people who are on other types of temporarily present immigration statuses. They have to jump through an additional layer of barriers that does not exist for other immigrants if you are permanent resident or undocumented. And so that is what this bill seeks to streamline. We heard testimony in the Judiciary Committee from medical researchers who were here and temporarily present, who, because of the federal SAVE program being clunky and oftentimes working within a matter of days, but sometimes leading to months of delay, we heard testimony from a medical researcher at Anschutz who was not able to get his driver's license for months and literally had to ride his bicycle to work. That is the genesis and the rationale for this policy. We are trying to ensure that people who, if they were if they were a citizen, if they were undocumented, if they were a permanent resident, anybody else would be able to get their driver's license. We are trying to streamline that in this way through this bill. You'll see it's a very simple technical fix. And after the Department of Revenue updates its computer system, will actually save the state money, because every time the Department of Motor Vehicles runs one of these saved checks, it costs the state 50 cents. So this is actually also, on top of not only cutting red tape, going to save us money. I ask for an aye vote on Senate Bill 204. Thank you all for your consideration, members.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the motion is the passage of Senate Bill 204. Are there any no votes? Senators Sonnenberg, Lundin, Gardner, Heisey, Woodward, Cook, Kirkmeyer, Minority Leader Holbert, Smallwood, Scott. Thank you. With a vote of 25 ayes, 10 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, Senate Bill 204 is passed. Co-sponsors: Senators Jaquez Lewis, Rodriguez, Story, Lee, Buckner, Majority Leader Moreno, Fields, General orders. Second reading of bills. Senator Henriksen.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Senate resolve itself in the Committee of the Whole for the consideration of general orders, second reading of bills.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and that motion is adopted. The Senate will resolve itself into the Committee of the Whole for the consideration of the general order, second reading of bills, and Senator Henriksen will take the chair.
The committee will come to order and the court rule is relaxed. Will the clerk please read the title to House Bill 1133?
House Bill 1133, Representatives Gray and Caraveo, Senator Winter, concerning an advance payment of premiums for state employee family and medical leave insurance coverage from the Revenue Loss Restoration Cash Fund to the Family and Medical Leave Insurance Fund for use by the Division of Family and Medical Leave Insurance to implement services prescribed under the Paid Family and Medical Leave Insurance Act.
Senator Winter.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move for the passage of 1133 on second reading and the Appropriations Committee report.
To the Appropriations Committee report, any?
The Appropriations Committee report, basically what we're doing is we are prepaying for the state portion of the paid family leave fees in order to get this program started, and I encourage you to vote.
Is there any further discussion on the Appropriations Committee report? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of the Appropriations Committee report. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the committee report is adopted. To the bill. Senator Winter.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We passed 118 in Colorado with 58% of the vote. More people voted for this policy than voted for President Biden in Colorado. It's very popular. And to make sure that we implement this on time and make sure we are providing paid family leave for all Coloradans, we need to pass this bill, and I encourage yes vote.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the passage of House Bill 1133. All in favor say aye. All opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the 1133 is adopted. Majority Leader Moreno.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move to lay over House Bill 1218 to Monday, May 2nd.
The motion is to lay over House Bill 1218 to Monday, May 2nd. Is there any discussion? All in favor say aye. All opposed, no. The ayes have it, and 1218 is laid over till Monday, May 2nd. Majority Leader Moreno.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move the committee rise and report.
The motion before the committee is to rise and report. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The aye has it, and the committee will rise and report.
The Senate will come to order. Senator Henriksen.
Thank you, Mr. President. The committee has met and had a bill under consideration. Will the clerk please read the report?
Mr. President, your committee of the whole begs leave to report it has had under consideration the following attached bills, being the second reading thereof, and makes the following recommendations thereon. House Bill 1133 is amended, passed on second reading in order to revise and place on the calendar for third reading and final passage. House Bill 1218 laid over until 5/2/2022 and retaining its place on the calendar.
Senator Henriksen.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the adoption of the report.
The motion is the adoption of the committee of the whole report. Are there any no votes? Senators Woodward. With a vote of 34 ayes, 1 no, 0 absent, 0 excused, committee of the whole report is adopted. House Bill 1133 is amended, passed on second reading in order to revise, and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. House Bill 1218 laid over until 5/2/2022 and retaining its place on the calendar. Consideration of House amendments to Senate bills. Will the clerk please read the title to Senate Bill 110?
Senate Bill 110, Senators Sonnenberg and Kolker, Representative Pelton, concerning a requirement that a wind-powered energy generation facility be equipped with light mitigating technology.
Senator Sonnenberg.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the Senate reject the House amendments and a conference committee be appointed.
Is there any discussion?
Yes.
Discussion? No. The motion is that the Senate not concur with the House amendments to Senate Bill 110 and that a conference committee be appointed. Are there any no votes? Not a one. With a vote of 35 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, the motion is adopted. Consideration of governor's appointments, consent calendar. Will the clerk please read all of the appointments on the consent calendar?
Member of the Front Range Passenger Rail District Board for a term expiring April 1st, 2026, Claire Levy, Boulder, Colorado, to serve as a resident of the city and county through which commuter rail service was planned as a part of the voter-approved RTD Fast Tracks Transit Expansion Program, but has not been constructed. Appointed.
Majority Leader Moreno.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the confirmation of all the appointments listed on the consent calendar, which includes Representative Claire Levy as a member of the Front Range Passenger Rail District Board.
Is there any discussion? The motion is the confirmation of all of the appointments on the consent calendar. Are there any no votes? With 35 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, all of the appointments are confirmed. The Senate will stand in a senatorial 5.
Appropriations. After consideration on the merits, the committee recommends the following. House Bill 1083 be amended as follows, and as so amended be referred to the committee of the whole with favorable recommendation and with a recommendation that it be placed on the consent calendar. House Bill 1282 be referred to the committee of the whole with favorable recommendation. House Bill 1356 be referred to the committee of the whole with favorable recommendation and with the recommendation that it be placed on the consent calendar. April 28, 2022, the Committee on Appropriations. After consideration on the merits, the committee recommends the following. House Bill 1379 be referred to the committee of the whole with favorable recommendation with recommendation that be placed on the consent calendar. Senate Bill 177 be amended as follows, and as so amended be referred to the committee of the whole with favorable recommendation with the recommendation that it be placed on the consent calendar. Senate Bill 200 be referred to the committee of the whole with favorable recommendation with a recommendation that it be placed on the consent calendar. Senate Bill 213 be amended as follows, and as so amended be referred to the committee of the whole with favorable recommendation and with a recommendation that it be placed on the consent calendar. April 27, 2022, the Committee on Health and Human Services. After consideration on the merits, the committee recommends the following. Senate Bill 225 be amended as follows, and as so amended be referred to the Committee on Finance with favorable recommendation. Senate Bill 226 be amended as follows, and as so amended be referred to the Committee on Appropriations with favorable recommendation.
Majority Leader Moreno.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the Senate take up the following bills on special orders consent. Senate Bill 229, House Bill 1309, House Bill 1344, House Bill 1360, House Bill 1083, House Bill 1356, House Bill 1379, Senate Bill 177, Senate Bill 200, and Senate Bill 213 at the hour of 9:47 a.m.
The motion is that the Senate take up Senate Bill 229, House Bills 1309, 1344, 1360, 1083, 1356, 1379, Senate Bills 177, 200, and 213 at the hour of 9:47 a.m. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. That motion is adopted. The Senate will take the previously mentioned bills on special orders consent at the hour of 9:47 a.m. Special orders, second reading of bills, consent calendar. Senator Henriksen.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Senate resolve itself into the Committee of the Whole for the consideration of special orders, second reading of bills, consent calendar.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The motion is adopted, and the Senate will resolve itself into the Committee of the Whole for the consideration of the special orders, second reading of bills, consent calendar, and Senator Henriksen will take the chair.
The committee will come to order and the court rule is relaxed. Will the clerk please read the title of all the bills on the special order, second reading of bills, consent calendar?
Senate Bill 229, Senators Story and Hawkes Lewis, Representative Burnett and Gray, concerning the conditions under which a public trustee shall release a deed of trust. House Bill 1309, Representative Froelich, Senator Winter, concerning the authority of a hospital to dispense a 7-day supply of drugs to a victim of sexual assault in order to treat sexually transmitted infections. House Bill 1344, Representatives Neville and Ortiz, Senator Cook and Janal, concerning the lawful use of a prescription drug that contains 3,4-methylene dioxymethamphetamine MDMA that is approved by the United States Food and Drug Administration. House Bill 1083, Representatives Tipper and Rich, Senators Winter and Simpson, concerning the creation of the Colorado Homeless Contribution Income Tax Credit in connection therewith, making an appropriation. House Bill 1356, Representatives Harrod and Houghton, Senators Gonzalez and Rankin, concerning the creation of the Small Community-Based Nonprofit Infrastructure Grant Program to provide assistance to nonprofit organizations that have been economically impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic and in connection therewith, making an appropriation. House Bill 1379 by Representatives McCormick and Catlin and Senators Donovan and Simpson, concerning transfers from the Economic Recovery and Relief Cash Fund to provide additional funding for the management of certain natural resources and in connection therewith, making an appropriation. Senate Bill 177, Senators Pedersen and Rankin, Representatives Titone and Bradfield, concerning behavioral health system investments in the statewide care coordination infrastructure. Senate Bill 200 by Senators Janal and Rankin, Representatives Soper and McCluskey, concerning a grant program to improve access to health care in rural communities. Senate Bill 213 by Senators Fields and Sonnenberg, Representatives Valdez A. and Tipper, concerning continuing support for necessary child care programs.
Majority Leader Moreno.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move for the passage of all the bills on the special orders second reading consent calendar, which includes Senate Bill 229, House Bill 1309, House Bill 1344, House Bill 1360, House Bill 1083 and its associated Appropriations Committee report, House Bill 1356, House Bill 1379, Senate Bill 177 and the associated Health and Human Services and Appropriations Committee reports, Senate Bill 200 and the associated Health and Human Services Committee report, Senate Bill 2 and Senate Bill 213 and the associated Health and Human Services and Appropriations Committee reports.
Senator Donovan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
It's committee reports first.
Thank you. Got to do committee reports first, as the majority leader will point it out.
Okay. So motion for the committee reports? Is there any discussion on the committee reports? Seeing none, the motion is the adoption of the committee reports. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the committee reports are adopted. Senator Donovan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Colleagues, I wanted to briefly comment on a number of the bills that are on the consent calendar, more for, I think, I guess something to look at going forward, because where we find ourselves today, there are a number of bills on the consent calendar and still in the queue that come from the Economic Recovery and Relief Cash Fund that we as a General Assembly created last year. We created that fund, if you will recall, because we got an influx of federal relief dollars, and we wanted to set aside a good portion of those dollars so we could make informed decisions of kind of transformational, once-in-a-lifetime kind of decisions on policy. Those dollars were supposed to be invested in assistance to small business, individuals and households, nonprofits, public health, administrative costs associated with public health, aid to impacted industries, assistance to unemployed workers, contributions to the Unemployment Compensation Fund, relief efforts for unmet needs, and that's about it. I think as a General Assembly, we have strayed quite far from that intention, including a number of bills that have significant staffing requests in them. This, I guess, has been a decision that we have all made collectively in individual actions instead of as a group decision, right? We've all made individual decisions on our individual bills that together have really changed how we've decided to use the Economic Recovery and Relief Cash Fund. That is much different from the discussion we had a year ago. So I guess the final thing I'd like to say about that is I think with experience we know that anytime we staff up, those positions hardly ever actually become temporary. That was one of the reasons we decided that we won't use this money for staffing, is because it's hard once you staff up to then de-staff. So I would keep an eye on this, and then also know that as a sitting body, when we move away bill by bill from our intended commitment, we are ceding our leadership to other branches. Thank you.
Is there any further discussion on any of the bills on the consent calendar? The motion before the body is the adoption of all the bills on special orders, second read of bills, consent calendar. All those in favor say aye. All opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the bills are adopted. Majority Leader Moreno.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move the committee rise and report.
The motion is for the committee to rise and report. All those in favor say aye. All opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the motion is adopted. The committee will rise and report.
The Senate will come to order. Senator Henriksen.
Thank you, Mr. President. The committee has had a number of bills under consideration. Will the clerk please read the report?
Mr. President, your committee of the whole begs leave to report it has had under consideration the following attached bills, being the second reading thereof, and makes the following recommendations thereon. Senate Bill 229, Senate Bill 177 is amended, Senate Bill 200 is amended, Senate Bill 213 is amended, passed on second reading and ordered engrossed and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. House Bill 1309, House Bill 1344, House Bill 1360, House Bill 1083 is amended, House Bill 1356, House Bill 1379, passed on second reading and ordered revised and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage.
Senator Henriksen.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the report.
The motion is the adoption of the committee of the whole report. Are there any no votes? With a vote of 35 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 0 excused, the committee of the whole report is adopted. Senate Bills 229, 177 is amended, 200 is amended, 213 is amended, passed on second reading and ordered engrossed, and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. House Bills 1309, 1344, 1360, 1083 is amended, 1356, 1379 passed on second reading and ordered and revised and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. Majority Leader Moreno.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the Senate take up House Bill 1347, Senate Bill 228, Senate Bill 223, House Bill 1301, and House Bill 1282 on special orders at the hour of 9:56 a.m. Colleagues, you did receive a calendar and may have seen listed Senate Bill 221 and House Bill 1317. Those are not going to be on special orders today, so you can cross those off your list.
The motion is that the Senate take up House Bill 1347, Senate Bill 228, Senate Bill 223, and House Bills 1301 and 1282 on special orders at the hour of 9:56 a.m. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and that motion is adopted. The Senate will take up House Bill 1347, Senate Bill 228, Senate Bill 223, and House Bill 1301 and House Bill 1282 on special orders at the hour of 9:56 a.m. Special order, second reading of bill. Senator Henriksen.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Senate resolve itself into the Committee of the Whole for consideration of special orders, second reading of bills.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. The motion is adopted, and the Senate will resolve itself into the Committee of the Whole for the consideration of the special orders, second reading of bills, and Senator Henriksen will take the chair.
The committee will come to order and the court rule is relaxed. Will the clerk please read the title of House Bill 1347?
House Bill 1347 by Representatives Doherty and Senator Rodriguez concerning workers' compensation and in connection therewith increasing funeral benefits, allowing for advanced mileage expense payments, addressing the payment of scheduled ratings, and requiring reporting of certain active medical treatments.
Which one is it?
Senator Rodriguez. I can't see who that is.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move House Bill 1347 and the Business, Labor, and Technology Report.
To the committee report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The committee report, we added on an amendment that allows the Department of Labor and Employment had a board that has not met since 2013. So all we did with that amendment was to dissolve that board from statute. So it just dissolved a board that hasn't met in a lot of years. All the stakeholders have been versed with the amendment and nobody had any opposition. So I move the report.
Is there any further discussion on the committee report? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of the committee report. All in favor say aye. All opposed, no. The aye has it, and the committee report is adopted. To the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move House Bill 1347 in the committee report. Basically, what this bill does is there was plenty of stakeholdering with the work comp trial lawyers, the Pinnacle, the self-insureds, most of the people that work on work comp policy. We increased some death benefits, put some upfront payments that was usually reimbursable for travel to going to doctors on long distances. The bill was highly bipartisan. Collaborated. There was no opposition on the bill because it was stakeholdered for the last year and a half. Ask for an aye vote.
Senator Woodward.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We did have a chance to listen to House Bill 1347 in committee, and I'm not sure that I agree with the assertion that it's highly bipartisan. There's some good parts to this bill. One of the things that the sponsor brought up is that it increases some of the benefits payable for things like funeral and burial expenses. Some of those things make a lot of sense, and I'm glad to see those portions of the bill moving forward. Some of the opposition that we've heard, both testimony and emails that I've received, point to the questions about beginning a process whereby workers' comp has to pay things in advance, and the danger that presents, particularly when things like advance payment for mileage. Certainly, there may be instances where some of those long distances, those costs can be high, but what it opens up is a new policy where we give folks money ahead of time, and really opens up the chance that we're going to be continuing to further drain things like workers' comp. So that's why I'm a no vote. I think there is some good things about this bill, but I think that it opens up some chance for abuse and ultimately a chance to drain our reserves in the workers' comp.
Senator Rodriguez.
Thank you, Mr. President, or Mr. Chair, sorry. Maybe early, someday. Just want to clarify some questions. under workers' comp, and you may have heard my argument on a bill I ran last year for doctor's choice to allow closer doctors, but under workers' comp, you have to go to the doctors they appoint you to. You don't get to choose the doctors that might be closer or available in your neighborhood. They choose the doctors that in their network to do. That may be a farther doctor away than you could have available, but that's not the choices you get under workers' comp. So there is some provisions in this to allow for some compensation, and what this is doing is allowing them to prepay and then waiting till after. So if we want to have the discussion of how to getting more access and lowering rates, maybe we can have a discussion about being able to choose a doctor closer to where you're at versus what's mandated by the policy. Ask for an aye vote.
Senator Lundin.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Just a couple questions, and I'm just reading the bill now. I'm not in the business committee, so I'm just looking into it. But when we're prepaying, that assumes an activity will happen. What happens if the activity doesn't happen? Individual schedules, treatment, it's a substantial distance, there's a substantial payment made in advance in anticipation of that treatment, but the appointment is not met, the person doesn't go. How is that managed?
Senator Rodriguez.
I would not be able to make a clarifying statement on that. I would be curious to any insurance company that would agree to do this work that would not compensate or work on the back end, maybe possibly on their next doctor's appointment or a follow-up appointment they had.
Senator Lundin.
Fair enough. And I guess that brings to the forefront one of the challenges of this particular substantial policy change, where you're saying we're going to prepay for something which may or may not happen. It's a pretty substantial shift in policy. We want to call that out.
Senator Rodriguez.
Thank you for the questions and discussion. I don't disagree, just want to clarify that the self-insureds who do provide this coverage and Pinnacle were on board with this bill and we're in the discussions of it. So they have not come out in opposition or questioned this part of the policy. So it must be something that can be workable under their policy.
Thanks.
Seeing no further discussion, the motion before the body is the adoption of House Bill 1347. All in favor say aye. All opposed no. The ayes have it, and House Bill 1347 is adopted. Will the clerk please read the title to Senate Bill 228?
Senate Bill 228, Senators Rodriguez and Representatives Valdez A, concerning the requirement that retail establishments accept United States currency.
Senator Rodriguez.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move Senate Bill 228 and the Business, Labor, and Technology Report.
Is there any discussion on the committee report?
Yes. Colleagues, last year and during COVID, I ran the must accept cash bill, which was something that we knew during COVID that not everybody had access to cards and stuff, and we ran a bill to require everybody to accept cash at locations. Now, since that bill passed and there was a governor signing statement that we didn't have any enforcement or criteria of who gets charged, so we added that we put that in this bill that the AGs and the DAs can do it based on the charges we put in the bill of a $250 fine, defining the retailer who could be charged. Also, what came up in discussion since last year is some of the renewal companies like gym memberships and stuff that put their card on file for automatic renewal were caught in a weird space of, do they have to accept cash if they have an automatic renewal with credit card? This policy also clarifies that language to say that if they have a renewal policy with a credit card, they do not have to accept cash. So ask for an aye vote.
Is there any further discussion on the committee report? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of the Business, Labor, and Technology Committee report. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed no. The ayes have it, and the committee report is adopted. To the bill, Senator Rodriguez.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I previously discussed what the bill does. Ask for an aye vote.
Senator Woodward.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I also had a chance to hear this in Business Committee. There's a couple of concerning pieces about that, about this bill. One is it seems quite discriminatory to presume that folks who do things like attend a gym or a fitness facility, why is it that those facilities are not required to accept cash? Do folks who want to use cash only, are they not invited to those places? So it seems very discriminatory to carve out this one piece to say, hey, you can use cash anywhere if you go to the convenience store, if you go to the grocery store. However, if you want to go to the gym, they can turn you away and not accept your business. I'm not sure why we're carving out and essentially stepping back to what the bill did last year, and I think it made some good headway. Piece number 2 to this is it really begins to put some enforcement teeth, which I think is a good thing. However, it oversteps that direction, because all of a sudden we're putting all of this authority into the hands of the AG. The AG can begin to target which businesses they want to go after. And it's not simply a $250 fine to a business for making the mistake of not knowing every law that we pass here at the Capitol. In fact, this bill could be used to target a business that someone may not like, because the bill is set up to be $250 per incident. So you could easily attack a small business who you don't like, who perhaps doesn't take cash. It doesn't really offer you any reason to explain why. Maybe they can't get their cash register open that day. Maybe they didn't know about this law. But what this bill sets forth is it's $250 per incident. So grab 10 or 50 of your friends and notify the AG that all 50 of your friends tried to use cash that day and they couldn't. And all of a sudden that company, that small business has a $10,000 fine going against it. So I think this bill goes too far and looks to punish small business at the same time that we're pushing this discriminatory practice.
Senator Rodriguez.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you to my colleague for his comments. Point of clarification, we made sure to not, this isn't just an AG enforcement. We put this under the district attorneys. This is for the local government. I don't know how much the AG would get involved, but we had to get some way to get traction. And we did make sure that this also includes the district attorneys. So that if somebody locally, they can reach out to their local district and their local elected representative to address this concern. It's been odd since we've come out of COVID, and I don't know if many of you went out. I'm an older person, and I like to carry cash, and I like to pay cash. It's disheartening when you go somewhere with cash, and they just say, we don't take it, and mandate you use a credit card, which we can get in discussions of how that increased costs, interchange fees or whatever, separate bill for a separate day. But just want to clarify that people that want to come and spend cash, it astounds me that we have places now that just don't accept it. So ask for an aye vote, and thank you.
Seeing no further discussion, the motion before the body is the adoption of Senate Bill 228. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. The ayes have it, and Senate Bill 228 is adopted.
Will the clerk please slowly read the title to Senate Bill 223?
Senate Bill 223 by Senator Henriksen, Representative Lindsay and Snyder, concerning the requirement that businesses licensed to sell motor vehicles have a principal place of business.
Senator Henriksen.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So this bill, Title 4420-120 of the Colorado Revised Statutes is pretty vague. It describes the...
Senator, would you mind moving your bill, please?
Oh. Yes, Madam Chair. I move Senate Bill 223 for passage on second reading.
Wonderful. To the bill.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So, as I was saying, Title 44-20-120 of the Colorado Revised Statutes is kind of vague. It describes the physical elements that a auto dealership must have and the capacity that it must have for conducting auto dealership related business activities, but it doesn't specify what activities must occur there or can occur off-site. And this is problematic because it's been interpreted by different companies in different ways. I gave a couple examples in committee about this. One I gave was a personal example from a couple years ago where I purchased a vehicle from a dealership in northern end of Colorado Springs. And a couple hours later, it was noticed that there were some administrative errors on the paperwork, and that dealership faxed those paperwork items to be fixed to the rental car affiliate of that dealership in Pueblo so that I could take care of it there rather than drive all the way up to Colorado Springs to fix those errors. Under a uncumbersome view of the current statute, that is fine. But if you read it in the most strictest way possible, there are some questions about whether that is allowable. So all this bill does is clarifies a uncumbersome reading of the current statutes and allows auto dealerships to perform business in the manner that many of them already have and is common practice in modern day with modern technology. I ask for an aye vote.
Further discussion on the bill. Minority Leader Holbert.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Right out of college, this was the industry where I found my first real job, and I just want to say thank you to the sponsor. I think that this helps people understand, people in the industry and possibly customers as well, what is permitted under state law and regulation, because the world is changing. I couldn't imagine in 1986 being able to go online and order up a car and never even actually walk into a dealership. So I will be a yes vote and appreciate the sponsor's support for the industry.
Further discussion. Senator Priola.
Thanks, Madam Chair, and members, just to also concur with what the good senator from Douglas County said, because the model for the sales of vehicles is changing so radically, dealers have to adapt and address and become more like, similar to the trucking industry for years has sent people out in the field to service and so on and so forth, deliver, deal with things, and the public likes it a lot better. So this bill is an attempt for the auto dealers to adapt to changing market forces, and I'll be a yes.
Further discussion. Seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of Senate Bill 223. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and Senate Bill 223 is adopted. Will the clerk please read the title to House Bill 1301?
House Bill 1301, Representatives Soper and Roberts, Senators Donovan and Simpson, concerning the treatment of controlled environment agricultural facilities for property tax purposes.
Senator Donovan. Senator Donovan.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move that we lay over Senate Bill 1301 until tomorrow, Friday, the 29th.
The motion before the body is to lay over House Bill 1301 until tomorrow. Are there any aye, or all in favor say aye? All opposed, no. The ayes have it, and 1301 is laid over until tomorrow. Will the clerk please read the title to House Bill 1282?
House Bill 1282, Representatives Mullica and Lynch, Senators Bridges and Woodward, concerning the creation of the Innovative Housing Incentive Program.
Senator Bridges.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move Senate Bill 1282 and the appropriate committee reports. House Bill 1282 and no committee reports whatsoever, just the bill, and ask for an aye vote.
Is there any discussion on the bill? Seeing none, the motion is the adoption of House Bill 1282. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The ayes have it, and House Bill 1282 is adopted. Hold on one second. Majority Leader Moreno.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move the committee rise and report.
The motion is for the committee to rise and report. All in favor say aye. All opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the motion is adopted. The committee will rise and report.
The Senate will come to order. Senator Henriksen.
Thank you, Mr. President. The committee has had a number of bills under consideration. Will the clerk please read the report?
Mr. President, your committee of the whole begs leave to report it has had under consideration the following attached bills, being the second reading thereof, and makes the following recommendations thereon. Senate Bill 228 is amended. Senate Bill 223 passed on second reading and ordered engrossed and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. House Bill 1347 is amended. House Bill 1282 passed on second reading and ordered revised and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. House Bill 1301 laid over until 4/29/22 and retaining its place on the calendar.
Senator Henriksen.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the report.
The motion is the adoption of the Committee of the Whole report. Are there any no votes? With a vote of 35 ayes, 0 no, 0 absent, 0 excused, the Committee of the Whole report is adopted. Senate Bill 228 is amended. Senate Bill 223 passed on second reading and ordered engrossed and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. House Bills 1347 is amended. 1282 passed on second reading and ordered revised and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. House Bill 1301 laid over until 4/29/2022 and retaining its place on the calendar. Message from the House.
April 28, 2022, the House has adopted and transmits herewith House Joint Resolution 1020 is printed in House Journal April 28, 2022.
Announcements. Senator Gonzalez.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues who serve on the Senate Finance Committee, heads up, because we are going to call the first of what I expect to be several meetings that will take place not on our traditional finance calendar. So we'll be meeting tomorrow upon adjournment in the old Supreme Court to discuss a number of policies that include a number of policies. I will come back shortly and announce those bill numbers because I don't have that calendar in front of me. But stay tuned.
Senator Janal.
Thank you, Mr. President. The local government will meet upon adjournment, and we are hearing one bill, House Bill 1304. Yes, it's exciting. In room 352.
Senator Hansen.
Thank you, Mr. President. For members of Senate Appropriations, as previously announced, we will gavel in tomorrow morning at 8:15 in LSBB. We've got 15 bills that will be under consideration. I won't read those since they are in the printed calendar. And see everyone bright and early. Senate Appropriations, 8:15 tomorrow.
Senator Lee.
Thank you, Mr. President. Judiciary Committee will be meeting this afternoon at 1:30 to hear House Bills 1318, 1371, 1091, 1370, 1368, 1319, 1373, Senate Bill 231, and House Bill 1326. Thank you.
Senator Bridges.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Senate Education Committee will be meeting today as scheduled, but we are adding 2 additional bills. We are adding 1390, which is the Public School Finance Act, which was announced last night at the well. We're also adding House Bill 1260. That is 1390 and 1260 will also be heard in Senate Education today. Thank you.
Senator Winter.
Thank you, Mr. President. Transportation and Energy is going to meet 15 minutes upon adjournment. We are changing the order. We're going to hear House Bill 1114 first and then 1042.
Senator Gonzalez.
Thank you, Mr. President. I apologize, colleagues, because I now am coming to the well prepared with the list of bills that I have for the Senate Finance Committee. We will be hearing a number of policies in the Senate Finance Committee tomorrow upon adjournment in the old Supreme Court. We will be hearing Senate Bill 210, Senate Bill 225, Senate Bill 234, Senate Bill 233, and House Bill 1359. Stay up, y'all.
Senator Hansen.
Thank you, Mr. President. A quick amendment to my previous announcement. I found out there were 2 bills that were going to be ready in time for us to consider tomorrow that did not get printed. So I want to let everyone know that we will be adding Senate Bill 219 and Senate Bill 230 to Senate Appropriations.
Wow. Yes.
Senator Coleman.
Thank you, Mr. President. Really excited about that last announcement. Members, Senate State Veteran Military Affairs Committee will be meeting upon adjournment in Old Supreme Court chambers to hear HCR 221003, House Bill 1382, and House Bill 1352.
Senator Zenzinger.
Thank you, Mr. President. May I ask for a moment of personal privilege? Members, today is, for me, the last day of having the assistance of my intern, who was participating in the CSU intern program. I just wanted to, on behalf of myself and any member who utilizes the internship program, to just say thank you for your hard work in supporting our offices. I know that this year is a very crazy time of year, but I did not want to let the hard work of these young people that are working really hard to support our efforts down here at the Capitol in pursuit of their academic interests as well. And so I wanted to say thank you, and I don't know if it would be appropriate for the Senate to also say thank you. Okay.
Senator Fields.
Good morning, Mr. President and colleagues. I have an announcement regarding the Health and Human Service Committee. We're going to be meeting today at 1:30, and we're going to be meeting in the old Supreme Court room. And we did get a new bill added to our calendar. That's Senate Bill 1260. So that brings us up to 9 bills we're going to hear this afternoon at 1:30. See you then.
Senator Fields, did you say 1260? That shouldn't, yeah, because they added that to education.
Was it education?
So just say correction.
Senator Fields.
Thank you, Mr. President. I do have a correction. I mentioned that the Health and Human Service Committee would be hearing House Bill 1260, but that is going to be heard in education.
Further announcements. Majority Leader Moreno.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the Senate recess until noon today. Colleagues, you do not need to return. We're just reading bills across the desk.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the Senate will recess until noon today.